In this video, we will be looking at the difference between primary sources and secondary sources, and we will also look at some examples of how to find primary sources in the library's materials. Primary sources are first-hand accounts by people who are directly involved with the topic. For example, it would be those people who were at an event. Examples of primary sources include letters, diaries, interviews, speeches, photographs, and audio and video of an event. So for example, not a documentary film about an event, but actually someone filming an event happening. Secondary sources are sources that are at least one step removed from the event. They may cite to primary sources and generally add commentary and analysis. Examples of secondary sources include textbooks, encyclopedia, scholarly articles, documentary films, biographies, and reviews of an event. Now let's look at how to find primary resources using the library's databases. From the library's homepage, you can get to our databases by going to the Databases page. There are two different ways to navigate through our databases. We have all of them sorted by subject here on this page, or you can go to the databases A to Z list. Since I know which databases I want to look in, I'm going to go to the databases A to Z list. This lists all of our databases in alphabetical order. So let's start by taking a look at Academic Search Complete. If I click on this resource, it will take me to a search bar, and I can choose the advanced option instead of the basic option. Choosing the advanced option is going to give me additional alternatives at the bottom. So let's look at these options. I can, under publication type, can specify that I'm interested in primary source documents. So that's going to give me primary sources. So let's scroll back to the top, and now let's search for civil rights movement. Now, since I've specified primary source documents, when I run this search, I'm going to get back materials that are primary sources. So in any of our databases that allow you to specify primary sources, that's one way to find these materials. Let's go back to the databases A to Z list. Now let's go to the E's. What if I went to Ebony Magazine, and this is an archive of everything in Ebony Magazine, and let's say that I want to run a search for Muhammad Ali and find primary sources in Ebony Magazine about him. Well, not everything is going to be a primary source, so I'm going to have to go to the advanced search. And from here, I can put in Muhammad Ali. And then if I go down to document type, I can choose a document type that is specifically a primary source. So let's say I want to find images of Muhammad Ali. I can select image, hit the search button, and there are going to be photos of Muhammad Ali. So let's take a look at one of these as an example. And we can see that this is a photo from the 1996 Olympic Games. And while this was reprinted in 2004, as we can see over here, the photo itself would be a primary source if you were writing about the 1996 Olympic Games. So that's an example of how you can find primary sources using our magazine databases as well. If you have questions on this or anything else, please ask the library.